Welcome back to Clearly Established. I'm Brandon Grable, Texas civil rights attorney. And a lot of you have reached out to me regarding Reckless Ben's videos, especially the most recent one where he was arrested a couple of times and it looked like that he was being targeted by this police department. Well, as I started researching it, I realized that the police chief had put out a statement. I also got my hands on all the body camera incident reports, and I am concerned, obviously, about the redactions made because it makes it hard to see what the full picture is. I will also say this too. I'm going to release a couple of videos on this because if I were to do it in one massive video, it would be for hours. You'd lose interest in it. But the most critical thing I have to say is you don't talk to cops. You don't help them at all. Their job is to investigate. Their job is to determine whether or not a crime is being committed. But they also realize that they have the power of the badge, the gun, and a system that is designed to make it very difficult for you, especially if you piss them off. And what I realized in the videos that I did observe is that Ben and his friends continued to just talk, and talk, which I think really kills a lot of their case, not just from a civil rights perspective, but potentially maybe a criminal perspective as well. I don't do criminal law, but I understand, as we all should understand, that you don't talk to cops. If you say anything to them, you say lawyer. Everything that the cops have built has been from the words of Ben and his colleagues. So I'm going to break down the days because there are multiple days that this spans. We're talking about March 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. What stuck out to me, what I think is a pretty solid claim right out the gate, are the events of what happened on March 9th. And that's what I want to show you. Police need to have a legitimate reason to pull you over, just like they have to have a legitimate reason to do a Terry stop. They're allowed to briefly detain you to determine whether or not there is a crime that's been committed, is being committed, or will be committed. They're not allowed to just keep you pulled over or keep you detained while they just speculate or guess. They have to still establish a totality of circumstances to justify their reasonable suspicion. And in that investigation, they're supposed to do one of two things. They either develop probable cause that a crime has been, is, or will be committed, or they dispel that probable cause. If they're not doing any of those things, they need to let you go. And it's been well established as well that they can't just keep you on the side of the road and then go have their police dog just kind of walk around your vehicle. So that we know that's what happened with Ben. What I saw in the information released by the police department is that on March 9th, these officers violated the Fourth Amendment rights of Ben and his friends or colleagues that were in this vehicle. Let me show you what I mean. On March 8th, Ben and his friends are trespassed from Johnson's property, one of the owners of the franchise who's accused of this theft of the Legos. On March 9th, Ben asserts that he found somebody that was a member of Johnson's church, and he was going to have that individual talk to Johnson about returning the Legos, especially since he's a God-fearing man, and he represented on this audio that he was going to do the right thing. According to the police, the man admitted that he falsely posed through doorbell camera as clergy from a congregation that doesn't exist at Ben's direction.
My problem right now seems to be that Josh is never going to listen to anything I ever tell him. But if someone from his church heard this audio, maybe he would listen to them. So after finding exactly what church these guys go to, we went to it and showed one of the Mormons there this audio clip. And the Mormon thought that the best thing to do was to have a talk with Josh to save him from going to this outer darkness.
On March 9th, 2026, Joshua Johnson again contacted our department to report that a male was at his front door, ringing the doorbell and knocking. Mr. Johnson reported the male claimed to be part of a YouTube initiative, and Mr. Johnson stated that the male was harassing him. Johnson also reported that the male had pounded on the door, opened the screen door, attempted to open the front door, and had looked through some of the windows to the residence. Officer Hawkins with the American Fork Police Department responded and contacted the male, who identified himself as Christian Morgan. Morgan told Officer Hawkins he was attempting to help his friend Benjamin Snyder contact Mr. Johnson regarding a dispute involving a business known as Bricks and Minifigs and some alleged money that was owed.
How's it going, sir? You gonna sit on down here for me for you?
Yes, sir.
You got any form of ID on you?
No. I'm just here trying to talk to Brother Johnson.
Okay.
I'm in the Arbor Second Ward.
What's the relation?
There's an audio going around through our young men's group.
Yeah.
Brother Johnson taking advantage of some people.
Like how so?
So, this guy donates his life savings in Legos to Bricks and Minifigs. It's like a resale store.
Okay.
I was just coming to discuss that with them. And then on the Ring doorbell, he said he'd be out in a minute, so I've just been waiting for him.
Okay. What's the audio that you wanted to play?
Yeah, I can show you.
I'm not going to screw you. You have my word. That's not who I am. I promise you. I swear to God. I promise you like everything.
Who's that?
So,
I guess
that's him.
No, I know that. I could tell that from the voice, but what's that for exactly?
So his name's Ben Schneider. He was just confronting the guy because he had a video clip sent to him from inside the store, Bricks and Minifigs. Basically, they're trying to shut down the store so they can keep the profit from this investment they made of the minifigs. I think it's around $200,000.
And what were you doing previous to coming here today?
I was just with some buddies.
So how did you get here then?
I drove down here and then I met up with Ben. 5-ish minutes away. I think he's at an Airbnb, and then we just drove from here.
Where's he at then?
Honestly, I don't know. Where
He just left you?
He just asked me to come confront him and get his side of the story on everything, you know.
Gotcha. And what was your plan exactly?
I was just gonna ask him, is he willing to give up everything like he said? Because he swore on everything, he swore on God. And if not, I was gonna confront his bishop about it.
Okay. Okay. And then, so have you been drinking at all today?
So,
Because I smell a little bit off your breath. So.
no, I have not drank this.
At all?
I don't drink, sir.
So what am I smelling then? Okay.
So him fishing for the alcohol, remember that's important later.
All right. You're going to hang out with this officer then, okay? I'm going to see what his name is. You said his name is Ben? Or who's this guy?
Brother Johnson.
Okay. I'm going to find out what's going on with him. Just hang out with him, okay? All right, boss. So you're there for about 10 minutes on Ring camera, kind of asking for him and all that kind of stuff after he's saying he doesn't want to answer you and stuff like that.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Honestly, I couldn't hear with the audio coming out. I thought he said he was coming.
Okay. So he has asked you to be trespassed. So what ward are you from?
Technically, I'm from the Crystal Heights First Ward. It's in Salt Lake.
You're asking questions about a whole other ward from a whole different city, from a whole different individual, about a whole different bishop.
Well, because he said he swore on God and he swore on everything he has that he wasn't trying to take advantage of this person, I said, okay, that's fine. I just wanted to clear it up with you, just so I don't have to go to Bishop Robbins.
So where's Ben at?
He's at a church somewhere around here.
Just waiting for you.
Yeah. I have a ride also somewhere around here coming to pick me up. They're just waiting for me to leave.
Just waiting for you to leave. See how it kind of seems fishy?
No, yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And you said you haven't had a drink today at all? You never drink? Never had a drink in your life? The reason I asked is I smell it. Would you blow into a PBT to make sure there's nothing in your system then? No? I have a hard time believing you do, to be honest with you. So who's second Harbor Ward?
It's one of the churches around here.
That you think? What's your friend's last name? Ben
Schneider.
Ben Schneider. Okay. So he sent you today, correct? Asked you to be a third-party liaison with him. Okay. So he was trespassed from this residence yesterday. He's using you, third party, to console. That's ending you up in the same trouble that he's in now.
I was unaware. I didn't know he was trespassed.
Probably not best to be a tool for someone else.
Yeah, no, I get it. I really didn't know like what I was getting into. He's a YouTuber. I've been following him for a while. Slid up on Instagram, said, "Hey, I'm coming to Salt Lake." I just slid up. I said, "I'm a local," and he was like, "Cool. Are you free the week of March 9th?" And they texted me earlier. I just came down here.
Well, this isn't Salt Lake County, this is Utah County. We do things differently down here. So if I wanted to, I could push things, but I understand you're being used by someone you don't know. He wants you trespassed from the property, which means you cannot return. If you do, you will be arrested for criminal trespassing and booked into Utah County Jail.
So Ben put together this idea that maybe it was Mormon cops who were protecting their own. It could be true. I'm not saying that at all, and that might be something to look into. But what the police record shows is that a day after there were trespass warnings, the crew went back impersonating the man's own church.
As Officer Hawkins prepared to locate Snyder as part of the investigation, he observed Morgan walking toward a Hyundai passenger vehicle occupied by several individuals. Officer Hawkins believed Snyder may have been inside of the vehicle and intended to contact him as part of the investigation. Officer Hawkins initiated a traffic stop on the vehicle. As this occurred, Morgan turned away from the vehicle and ran away from officers.
So Christian Morgan, the individual that was just trespassed from Johnson's property, ran away when he saw Ben's vehicle that he was about to get into getting pulled over. And remember, they thought that Morgan might be intoxicated. Based on what? Who knows?
Officers did not pursue Morgan because he had not committed a crime, and Morgan was not observed again by our officers. Officer Hawkins discovered the vehicle was occupied by Tyler Shaw and Benjamin Snyder, both of whom had been trespassed from Mr. Johnson's residence the previous day.
According to Ben, he was pulled over and searched for heroin that wasn't there, and then they hid it by redacting the audio.
The police apparently got a call that we had heroin on us.
Police say that the stop is investigative. The trespass men are tied to the harassment.
How's it going? I'm Officer Hawkins, American Fort Police Department. How you doing?
So we get a good understanding of how long this stop was. Keep that in mind that it was 7:18 p.m. on March 9th.
Good, how are you?
Good. What's your name? Are you Ben? Okay, go ahead and lower this window for me, would you? What's your last name, Ben? Schneider. Okay. What are we doing, boys?
We're just going for a drive. I actually live in the area.
Okay. I'll ask again, because I wasn't born yesterday. Why are we doing it? Why are we harassing people? Okay. Go ahead and give me your ID.
Do you want to follow us to my house? My house is literally down the street to my right.
So, well, here's the thing, okay? So you were all involved yesterday in an issue at 274 Stores Avenue, right? Well, you were trespassed from the residence yesterday, correct?
Yeah, but we weren't on the residence or nothing.
I know. You sent someone else.
We didn't send him.
Who sent him then?
I don't know. We did tell we found out what church he lives in. We did say, we told the bishop that one of his church level is committing this like big crime. We still have to be part of the church.
These are the other two that were trespassed yesterday, though. Why don't you call him, tell him to come over to the car, because he's not.
So right now, the officer is asking about Morgan because he ran away, and they were curious about where he went and how he's involved. So that's who they're talking about.
We don't have these numbers.
How did he call you guys then?
He didn't call us.
Really, guys? We're gonna play stupid? I know he called you guys. I watched him try to get in your car. He's saying you sent him. So it's not a church member going up and asking.
They seem like they wanted to.
32, go ahead.
They seem like they wanted to
Go for it. 16's pulling up to me now. Okay, listen. Okay, if we want to play stupid, we can play stupid. I'm not. Okay, so I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. He was at somebody's house harassing that individual. He got trespassed today, okay? I watch him try to get in your guys' car, and then he bails. Listen to what I'm saying, though. Then he said, Ben is the one that sent me to, yeah.
So does that mean the guy doesn't have a car then?
Yeah, well, he says he had his car, but it's at Ben's house because he was hanging out with Ben and Tyler, and Ben asked him to go to this guy to mediate and ask about the minifigs that the previous owner of Bricks and Legos stole from them.
You said a lot of words there. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Code Forces, Ben.
So do we just need them to get on their way then? Or?
So yesterday, these two and another guy, because of a YouTuber named Reckless Ben, is now coming after their business because they took over a business that somebody else had previously bought minifigs from him as part of the business and took over it, didn't pay him or whatever the case may be. Corporate took over the business because it went under. This guy bought it and now is the manager of it, owner of it. The last few days, these people have been showing up, harassing him at his house. So this kid, the one that's still walking around somewhere, says that Ben, who's in the back seat, sent him here to be a third party because they were all trespassed yesterday. I pull these people over because I watch him try to get in this car, and then he walks away as soon as he sees me, and they pull out and get out of there. When I come up there, they're like, oh no, we don't even know the guy, we're just driving around. I live relatively close. And then I told them, I was like, well, that guy tells me that you sent him there. Well, he's confused.
I guess what's the goal of...
Right now,
can't we just have him pick his friend up? And they're probably tired of dealing with the police at this point. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was gonna scare him a little bit and let him go is all I really was gonna do. But.
So the initial purpose of the stop, the initial Terry detention, if you will, was to investigate the relationship between Morgan and Ben. Well, Morgan is gone. He spoke to Ben. Ben said, yeah, we don't really know the guy. So what information do they really have to go on at this point? They don't have any information. Instead, the officer turned the detention into a scenario where he's like, you know what? We're going to scare them a little bit and then let them go. That's not a lawful stop. And at this point, the stop has already been going on for at least 10 minutes. They collected their IDs. They know exactly who they are. What is the purpose of the stop? So to me, this already is turning into a clear-cut Fourth Amendment violation that, based on the information available right now, should overcome the qualified immunity defense. Let's keep watching.
Because How many are in the car?
Huh?
How many are in the car?
2 are in the car. One in the back seat, and then Tyler in the front seat. And wherever freaking this guy's hiding.
So are they trying to just pick him up and get out of here? Or do we have charges? Or are we just tired of them being annoying?
I was going to try to link it to get Ben to say, because he said that Ben sent him. Yeah. So if I can get Ben to say, yeah, well, I did tell him to go over there and do that, then I have harassment charges on Ben. But also at the same time, I don't care that much. It's more of just the fact that they're trying to be sneaky about it.
So the cop wants to keep them detained so he can get Ben to make some kind of confession. Guess what? The officer would not have even considered this if Ben just said lawyer immediately and was not willing to talk at all. But now the cops are starting to game plan to figure out if we just keep them there long enough, we'll get them to say what we want them to say. And that's in line with, they already say that they're annoying. They don't care as much, but they don't like that they're being sneaky. Well, guess what? Being annoying and being sneaky is not against the law. And as a result, it cannot form the basis to prolong this unlawful stop.
So I'm hoping it's kind of like, they're all young. They're all 18, 19, 20-year-olds. Like, they're not super old guys or anything like that. But, like, this one's 19, and then Tyler, the driver, is 23. The main reason was I smelled alcohol on the other guy's breath, so I was hoping he just got caught. I was hoping for it. But it looks like he asked these
So you guys
to go up instead.
Good with these guys being able to drive?
Yeah, I think so. I didn't see anything clear as day with Tyler that I noticed.
So the officer that had an interaction with Morgan earlier and was like, "Oh, I smell alcohol on your breath. You had to have been drinking. Are you willing to do a test?" And of course, Morgan said no. Well, now they can't find Morgan. So now what this officer is doing, because he finds them sneaky and annoying, is that, well, maybe they were all drinking together. That's the explanation he's going to give. But the same officer that was able to make observations on another individual just a couple of moments before is now admitting on video he saw zero indication of any alcohol use with Tyler, the driver. But just to be sure, he sent another officer to just see what they can find, right? This is all purely speculation. No reasonable circumstances that justify this, other than they think that a guy they're hanging out with must have been drinking. So the conclusion is they had to have all been drinking together. That's what they have.
But that's why I asked Colton to check. I asked him to check. Maybe he's seen something that I don't see. The case yesterday.
Did you work yesterday or what?
No, I just read it.
Oh, okay. You got any codes? Because our current harassment code doesn't... We don't really have a harassment code in Utah.
I just read... What did I just read? I read one when I was there. We do have an harassment code, but it's not good.
Well, it's like that written or recorded threat code.
Yeah.
But like the societal definition of harassment is not the Utah code definition, which it would help us out if we had one.
Well, I'll probably just warn him again not to go to that property then.
So the original stop was at 7:18 p.m. We are now at 7:32 p.m. And the officer has made clear that he was probably going to let them go, but he wanted to scare them first. And the reason, again, was because they're annoying, they're sneaky, and he's just now representing, yeah, the harassment code, this doesn't meet that definition, I'm probably going to let them go. But he doesn't let them go. So we have here, even if the initial stop might be lawful, the prolonging of the stop can be unreasonable, and that prolonging without any lawful basis is a violation of the Fourth Amendment. So what do they do next?
You say anything or no? Oh, he's texting me probably.
I don't think his radio works. Anything weird? Got anything weird?
Say anything?
He popped gum that I was coming around to talk to him. So his eyes kind of look a little like there's something.
Were you aware that when you decide to chew a piece of gum in front of an officer that you lose your Fourth Amendment rights? Yeah, I wasn't aware of that either.
Yeah. I saw it in the other one, so I'm not surprised that they were doing it as a group.
How old are they all?
They're all underage.
Just try to get right in his face.
They're 19 and 23.
See if I'll look at your finger.
Do what you do? Finger. Hey, look at me. Yeah, we could ask him because you smelled it on the other guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, conjointly, if he's drinking, this guy's probably the one that purchased it for them.
They're probably all are.
Right? If I
you want to just get in close to him? I mean, without getting in his car, but...
Yeah. To look out. At the furry tail.
I'm interested to know if that's code for something involving strategy with the narcotics dog. I don't really know, but it's such an odd thing to say, especially at that point in the conversation. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that area. Is there an area called Furry Tail? Because It just stuck out as odd to me.
Okay. I'll talk to the driver again and see if I see something, and then can you just make the passenger find an ID because I can't find it anymore.
If you're wondering why there's no audio, it's because either this officer muted his camera or the version that the police produced omitted the audio. So we don't really understand what happened here other than what we can see, and it's that they gave Tyler a series of tests. And obviously, he was never charged or arrested with anything from this event, so he must have passed, which was consistent with their discussion that they didn't really observe anything. They speculated.
Just for your information, I'm Officer Cotton. I'm a K-9 officer. Officer Hawkins had asked that I run my dog around your vehicle to an open air, open sniff, all right?
Yeah, sounds good.
No, it doesn't sound good. Stop letting these cops get away with what they're doing. Okay, so maybe Tyler almost seemed to consent or agree to the dog to go around the vehicle. So that would almost stop what ended up happening with the prolonged seizure, because at this point, does it now turn into a consensual encounter? That is where there could be some legal discrepancies, something to look into. But what I do know is from the time they determined that there was no crime earlier in the night to the time that they prolonged it up to that point is still a Fourth Amendment seizure, so I'm not too concerned about that. But what's interesting here is they've already removed the other individuals from the vehicle, and now they have this dog going around the vehicle not once, not twice, but a couple of times before the dog finally alerts. So it would be interesting to me in discovery to see, how is this dog trained? Is it trained, for example, that if they were to go around an object a number of times, that they automatically alert? Was there some kind of signal or something that this officer gave? It's really hard to see without that information. And more importantly, something to get in discovery is going to be every time that this specific dog was involved in a search, how often when that dog hit, was it accurate? Could show whether or not it was actually reasonable for these officers to rely on that dog hitting. Of course, they proceed to search the vehicle and they find nothing whatsoever. So in the end, everyone was free to go.
So, like I told you earlier, okay, the reason I'm talking to you is because I noticed some things. All right.
Isn't this interesting? Tyler has already passed their tests. He volunteered to take these tests. He passed. They then had the dog go around a couple of times. The dog alerted. They searched the vehicle. They found nothing. Why are these individuals still in custody? Why are they still being detained? This is an unlawful seizure. The cops need to have authority to keep people detained. This isn't consensual. They're going to argue, oh, well, we had probable cause because the dog alerted. Well, the moment you didn't find anything, that probable cause is out the window. You need to let these guys go.
So
4 hours of sleep is basically it.
But like, help me understand. So your eyes, for example, right?
Right.
There's a constriction, which is dilated, and then
Do you notice it?
So I haven't been looking at the same thing.
Like, I have no idea because I've never done any drugs in my life. I'm literally on 4 hours of sleep in the last 2 days. I've been drinking energy drinks.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't do drugs. I don't do alcohol. I've never done any of that in my life.
You're not on Adderall or any type of
No
prescription
Adderall,
medication?
nothing. Yeah, the last medication I took, like that was a pill, was Tylenol when I had the flu 3 weeks ago. That's the last thing I've taken. Like, I'm willing to do any drug tests.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very cooperative. I don't understand, what you're seeing in my eyes.
I'm gonna have a discussion with this officer. What the man maybe do is just go on that little pot of land right there. It looks like a sea base.
If you had any doubt about whether Tyler was free to go, he wasn't. He was still under the custody and control of these officers. They're telling him where to stand while they communicate and figure out what to do next.
Perfect. Right there is fine.
Right here?
Yep. So, you can find anyone on your side.
And like clockwork, both officers proceed to mute their body-worn cameras, so we have no idea what the purpose of this discussion is.
What I would suggest, I'm not going to push tonight's issue.
I appreciate you.
I'm not sure if you're lying to me or not, to be honest.
I'm willing to take any drug test you want. I promise.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in there that since you guys returned, I have to document it. From what I see, Christian never came back. He was dodging me, tried to get in your car, and then when I told you guys to tell him to come back, he never came back. Would that be a good soul? Probably not, right? If he did nothing wrong, why isn't he coming back?
I don't know.
So, just something to think about. Other than that, we're going to let you guys go. Okay? Thank you. All right, Tyler, appreciate you. Have a good night.
So over an hour later, into a call where the officers were discussing within the first couple of minutes that they didn't have any legal basis to hold them, was able to hold them. And they think that they're going to have the protection of the law. They think these guys are probably too young and naive to realize that their constitutional rights were violated. Here's what I would tell you. If this happens to any of you, you don't talk to the cops. I would say that to 99.8% of the people. There are other people who do it very intentionally. But in situations like this, you don't do it because now you hear what the cops are thinking. They're messing up your story. They want to send a message. They think you're annoying. And so they're going to find a way to make life difficult for you. If these cops wanted to arrest Ben and Tyler, they could have. Thankfully, they didn't, at least not on this particular night. The next 2 days, they arrested them. And I'll be covering those as well. But in terms of everything I've seen so far, the Fourth Amendment violation was clear-cut to me, again, based on the information available. But that's all I have for this one. I look forward to reading your comments. Until next time, this is Clearly Established. Thanks for watching.